All right, so and for anyone who is making masks or wants to make masks, these are some of the ones that I've made. Let me put them up here. I have, let's see, 6 right now. These all have filters in them. I'm working on a 7th one, but I'm hand sewing, and so this is taking me a while, and I've just ran out of elastic. So, but this is what I've done so far. These have a pocket where I have put in a filter. If you can see that, it looks kind of like a dryer sheet, but it's not. The filter, as you can probably guess, is from actually one of these air filters that you would typically put in your home, in a furnace or something like that. But yeah, so this is what you need to use. This is something that you can use to make that filter, but it is not exactly easy to take this apart and make it usable. So I'm just going to do a quick video to show you how to do it. I got this at Home Depot. You can also get something like this at Walmart. Those are all considered essential businesses right now. So this should be open, and I don't think people have figured this out yet, so it's not like they're all off the shelves. So the first thing you need to do is get a pair of scissors or shears, whatever you have, and you need to cut away this cardboard frame. Oh boy, this is gonna take a minute. I kind of had to use brute force to get this off, but you can cut it away little by little. So hopefully this will take me a less time than it did the first time I did this. So the reason why I've decided to use these is because after doing some research, I found out that if you take these apart, the material that is used is going to filter out a lot of like really microscopic, for dust, germs, anything like that. So this is going to be about as effective as you can get without it being necessarily medical grade. So obviously I'm going to be removing the wires once I cut away all this cardboard. The reason why I'm removing the wire is, well, for obvious reasons, it's going to poke your face if you don't. But also because with these homemade masks, you want to make sure that there is no metal in them. And the reason for that is because you want to make sure that they can be washed easily. And when there's metal in there, that just makes things harder. You want these masks to be made of material that can be bleached for obvious reasons. So that way, hopefully, these can be reused. I'm really, really hoping that people aren't required to just throw these masks away that take me a few hours. But yeah, I made them so that they can be bleached and hopefully reused. Not everyone knows this, but right now there is such a huge mask shortage that nurses are having to reuse masks, which they are not supposed to do, but they have to do it because otherwise they have no protection. So, they're possibly using dirty masks, and that's not good. That's not good for anyone. So, this is gonna take me a while. But, so yeah, this does take a minute to take apart, but having this material in the mask is going to add a lot more protection that you're not necessarily going to get with just cloth. So that's why I figured, you know what, it's worth it. Let me see if I can cut this away. Okay, so it took me I don't know, 10-15 minutes to cut away all that cardboard because there's a lot of it. Obviously you can see that there's still some sticking on here. When I pull the wires off, hopefully some of that will go. If not, I'm just gonna kind of pull them away a little bit. So once you've got that all stripped away, you want to kind of flatten this out, stretch it out as much as you can. And this can go one of two ways. You can try to rip off the wiring through the whole sheet, which is what I was doing earlier. Or you can do the much simpler method and just cut out the squares that you need and then pull off the wiring. So, let's see, I've got this unfinished mask here. It needs elastic and like a seam that needs to be sewn. So I'm gonna try to measure out what I need the best I can. So let's see. I want to go before the seam on each side, and then maybe about as tall. Well, actually, if I fan it out, yeah, fan it out first, and then you can kind of figure out sort of like eyeball what you need. Now, if I had a mask that wasn't completed yet, it would be a lot easier to just measure inside what fits in the pocket. But I don't have that right now because I'm working on starting a new mask probably tonight. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of cut from like here to here. And you want some nice good scissors for this. These are my fabric scissors, so they're pretty solid. Okay, and next what you can do is kind of get a hold of some wiring here. Be careful here. I know I'm doing this barehanded, but I have gotten poked a few times. It does not feel good. So yeah, just pulled it off. It's gonna take off some of this cardboard here. Okay, and then what I can do, let me see if this will fit okay. I'm gonna open up the pocket that I have here. I'm gonna just put it inside here. Hopefully this fits. If not, I'll trim it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to trim that. Alright, let me trim a little bit. Okay, that'll be good. So I want to make sure that what I do cut is going to cover the nose and the mouth, because that's the most important part. Okay, and so yeah, once it's all sewn together, it's gonna be like puffed out because it's got the filter on it. Like it's not gonna have the creases that it has without it. But I mean, you know, that's okay. Do we good? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's basically it. You can see from this fabric here that it's pretty tight. Not a whole lot's gonna get through that. You know, this is not ideal, obviously, but this is going to be a better alternative than, well, you know, going in unprotected. There are nurses and other healthcare workers who are having to use scarves and just like bandanas, because that's how short they are on masks, or they're having to reuse masks, and that's very risky. So if I can make homemade masks like this and then give them a filter cover, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, that's how you can, you know, like find filter material and, you know, take it apart so it can be used for masks. Hopefully this is helpful. And if you have sewing skills, make some masks and find, and you can find like hospitals, nursing homes, just all kinds of places that need masks right now. But healthcare workers in particular really need them. So